Radio Free 102.3 KJLH. Man, I love that song. It is the Front Page Saturday Town Hall Edition. Where the good jobs at? Finding and keeping employment or creating your own hustle in the pandemic age. We're being joined now by 3-time Grammy-nominated artist, producer, multi-instrumentalist from the Crenshaw District. He's also at the epicenter of LA's progressive hip-hop scene, including collaborations with Travis Scott, Kendrick Lamar, Herbie Hancock, Stevie Wonder, Snoop Dogg. Terrace Martin, welcome to the Front Page.
Hey, hey, hey.
Thank you for joining us this morning. So this is a crazy time, you know, the pandemic, the COVID situation hitting entertainment, right? Probably harder than almost anywhere. I mean, in terms of live concerts, actors, you know, all the things we do, the festivals and stuff. How are you faring, and how is your circle faring in this scenario?
You know, it was a bit of a struggle at first. It was just, you know, with just, I think more than worrying about performing. I think for us, most of my friends are black artists and black musicians. For us, it was we were affected by that for like a couple of days, and then, you know, when all this racist stuff started happening, we kind of forgot we were even musicians and just had to really just focus on living and really just getting prepared to expect the unexpected. So I think with us in my circle, you know, we haven't really been hit with the fact of entertainment yet. You know, just to keep it real with you, we can't even think about music because all this racism stuff is going on right now. So we really can't even, like, we're not even talking about doing shows. We're talking about protesting and voting and getting this dude out of office and all kind of stuff. We haven't really been dealing with music lately a lot, honestly.
Yeah, but it makes sense because it's all tied together. I mean, honestly, if we would get a different person in office, then we would probably be able to get the pandemic under control. Not probably, definitely be able to get the pandemic under control a lot faster. If we could deal with, you know, the racial, racism, white supremacy, you know, lack of equity and opportunity, then we would have more jobs in resources in our community. So in some kind of way, they're tied together.
Oh, yeah. Definitely tied together. You know, we feel like, you know, we need to put the focus on those things, what you just said, so we can even be able to make a way for the next generation or the cats that come after us, you know, to even have an opportunity to even, so next time these crises happen, you know, it's certain things right that will be dealt with in a timely fashion where people don't have to suffer like they are now.
Yep, it's well said. You know, I think part of it is also the role of music or any art in inspiring and uplifting and fueling movements. My father, Amiri Baraka, was known as the founder of the Black Arts Movement. And he's very much, you know, rest in peace, very much.
Your daddy?
Yeah, that's my pops.
Wow.
But, you know, rest in peace, Dad. But I think he was very much a political mind. He wasn't, you know, your spacey, you know, kind of stereotype artist. It was all about change. But he understood and ingrained in us how important, you know, art is in inspiring, uplifting, and even getting people to understand concepts that maybe we wouldn't be open to if we got it just as a regular old newspaper or something.
Oh yeah. No, that's I feel that. I always call art. Like the secret messenger, where like if you can't just say something outright, you know, you could get the message across through a painting, through music, through dance in a certain way that will affect the person's heart a whole different way than it'll affect anything else and just telling the person, you know.
Yeah, it's one of the things I love about the Black Lives Matter movement. If you go out to a march or a protest, they're going to be singing and dancing and chanting and marching all together, right? So we're able to express ourselves. And
I've been to a couple of those, and I was like, is this a festival? I love it, though. I love it.
I also feel like, you know, some of us have hit a wall, and I'm not going to lie. Like, this was a rough week for me. I was tired. I was kind of dragging. And this morning when I woke up and I was like, okay, I got Terrace Martin on the show. I'm excited. And I just turned on all this music. You know, I was just playing your music before I got on the radio all day. And it really uplifted me. And I think, you know, not just in terms of the struggle, but also in terms of just the pandemic with people hitting a wall, you know, in terms of like, I can't be inside anymore. Or I can't deal with these restrictions, or how am I going to feed my kids, or whatever the thing is. Sometimes putting on the music and just letting it like lift us is part of the solution.
Yeah, like that's the only thing. That's funny you say that. The only thing that drives me musically and artistically right now is that I just know spiritually, I made a deal with the Creator years ago when I was in 7th grade, when I didn't know what I was going to do, when I really was young, and I growing up in the Crenshaw district. I want the gangbang now. That was I wanted to do that. I wanted to be from 6'0". I wanted to do that because that's all I knew at a certain age, because those were the heroes in my neighborhood. And I'm not talking about the gang. I'm not talking about from a violent standpoint. I'm talking about from a success standpoint, really. I tell everybody, all of the Crips and Bloods I knew growing up were great fathers. They cared about their community. They always was little league basketball coaches. They cared about their family. They had nice cars and they played great music. That was what I was into in my community. So it was a time I never will forget, Dominique. I was walking to school. I was going to Overwrite, and at this time I was making bad grades. I wasn't even going to school. I was just going to meet up with people to leave again. But I was just going to school, and something just hit me, man. Something hit me. I was walking, and I saw a man on the bus stop. He was pushing the basket, and he's always on this bus stop. It was the 108 bus to be exact. That's the Slauson bus. And I was getting on the bus, and I never wanted to sit next to him because it was a smell and whatever. And then he said, "Hey, come sit next to me." And I sat next to him, and he said, "I see you every day walking to school, man. With your friends. What are you going to do? Like, what do you want to be?" And I couldn't answer it. And I ended up falling in love with that conversation. So I always would go talk to him, and that man was named Archie, and everybody in the neighborhood know Archie, and God bless Archie's soul. But Archie pushed me in a situation where, I was always taught, ask God for whatever you want. So I said, God, if you out there, man, I need a talent. I need something to do where I don't be like Archie, because Archie said, don't be like me. I can't cuss on this. He said, don't, I took a few turns and twists, you know what I'm saying? And I was scared because Archie was like, he looked like somebody I just didn't want to be a part of at that time, but he taught me a lot. And I asked God, I said, God, my parents played music. I said, can you give me something? If you give me something I could do that I'm good at, because I'm not good at nothing, you give me something, I'll commit to it. I'll just do it. Archie said, commit to something. I'll commit to it. And that summer I went to New York and I fell in love with the saxophone through seeing my uncle play out the blue, Dominique. It was the weirdest. I never liked horns in my life. I fell in love with it. And I just came back to L.A. with a whole different page. But I'm saying that to say what only drives me today is that I made a commitment that my job on life is to help heal through my art. I made that commitment. And if anybody know me, I stay true to my friends, my family, and my commitment. And the only thing that drives me to make music now is that I know people are in the house. People are struggling. People are losing fathers. People are losing sons to violence with the police. And it's still violence going on in our neighborhoods in L.A. Yep. So people, I don't know if you've been paying attention to everything, but it's a lot of murders right now from the police and other things going on. So it's like, I feel an overcharge. Me and Robert Glass were just talking about, I feel such an abundance of overcharge to where I cannot leave the art alone and deal with so much other stuff. I have a job to do, which is pretty much keep putting that music in people's households and keep really just pumping out good energy so people can get inspired and know this day will pass. And that's all. This day will pass. We gotta get it together. We got to get our strength up. We got to get our love up for our loved ones, our respect. We have to get our accountability up, our responsibility up. We have to get all these things. So I want to keep putting that messages in the music and make sure every household, everybody from all walks of life get it. But I'm really, really concerned about my tribe, which is Black people. I'm really concerned about us. So my music is catered to the single mama, catered to the homie that's in prison, catered to the homie that may want to get back on his brother that look just like him. It's catered to these people that will just think about different options and different things to do and worry about really what matters, which is just really living to the next day. So that's my only drive with the art. I'm not worried about other artists. I'm not worried about on the radio. I'm worried about getting the message out to our people that we need to hug each other, embrace each other. That's kind of my whole mission right now.
Well, I mean, it's coming through. It's coming through right off the, right off the music, right into, our hearts when we hear it. And, it's powerful. So, but, you talk about that, that finding a purpose, which is, something we all need to do. And I heard that you carry your saxophone with you everywhere you go. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. Well, I started doing that in 8th grade.
What?
I was in love with it, but then it ended up being a tool because, like I said, I grew up in the 90s in the Crenshaw area where, I'm sure you're in LA, but every
yeah, I live in the Crenshaw area myself.
Oh, yeah. Come on now. Oh, what part?
Okay, I'm not trying to give out my address on the radio, but
oh my bad. You know what? I forgot we was on the radio.
But I definitely live in the Crenshaw area where I have lived and owned a home for the past 20 years. So, yeah. And I do keep up because that's my job. I mean, I have to keep up. And I even raised the eyebrow, like, why are we seeing all these killings? I was wondering, and I don't have evidence, but I was just wondering, are police falling back right now because they're angry that they're being called to account? What's going on these streets? Why are we seeing, at the same time that we see protests and people really calling for accountability and real change in the systemic racism that is ingrained in the police department and other places, then are they falling back? Why are we seeing this spike in violence?
Well, that's, man, that's a whole nother.
That was a speculation. That wasn't a question for you. That was just me speculating. But yeah, I live in the Crenshaw district. It's very familiar stomping ground for you, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. So I carry a horn around every day. I started off young because the horn was also a mechanism that, and then so in high school, I went to Lock High, which is on the east side of LA.
Famous.
And to get to Lock High, you got to pass about 15 from Crenshaw district, about 15, 16 different gang territories. You know what I'm saying? On the bus. So every bus stop, a new hood would get on the bus.
Yeah.
So for me coming from where I come from, I had to go travel through different areas that just because the area I come from didn't get along with that area. But the horn saved my life on many occasions because, some cats would get on the bus and they would take Cat's shoes, Cat's jacket, beat them up and just crazy stuff. And every time they got to me, I would be petrified. I was acting like I wasn't, but I would be so scared that one day I had the horn in the seat next to me on the bus, and the dude got to me and said, "Oh, you play the trumpet?" Although it's a saxophone. I said, yeah, trumpet. And he said, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And he jacked the guy behind me. And that right there taught me keep my horn. And my father taught me that. He said, "Man, you better keep that. I don't care how many rap records you do. You better play that horn. You let them know you can play that horn because that horn is going to inspire other young brothers and sisters in a different light. That horn is going to save your life." And that horn has steered my whole life. And I told you about that commitment. When I made that commitment, I traded in me wanting to carry a gun for a horn. And for a while in my high school years, I was carrying a gun and a horn. But then I started carrying a horn and realized, I'm free. I'm free. Like, I'm free. I have a dream. I'm free. And when I started walking with that freedom through all these different neighborhoods, I realized I got well known in L.A. because every neighborhood became my ally. Because if somebody was sick, I would show up to their house and play Happy Birthday. If I don't care if they was in the craziest part of town where what just happened, if somebody lost a son, I would go play Amazing Grace. I would just go take my horn wherever it was the deepest, darkest places in South Central and pull out my horn because I love South Central LA and I love my area and I just wanted to heal because that was my commitment. So the horn ended up being a shield. The horn ended up being my closest homeboy I ever had it in my life. I play the same saxophone to this day.
Really?
I'm looking at her right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
wow.
So that horn saved my life no matter how many records I did with hip-hop, gangster rap records, whatever. Like, that's why everybody hired me, like Snoop and everybody, because I was a young kid out the ghetto that talked a lot of crazy stuff, but I had a saxophone and I was well studied. I was well studied because I fell in love with Miles Davis and I read his books. I read 2 books in high school, 9th grade. It was Monster Cody and Miles Davis. Those were the 2 books that I swore by in high school.
But that's a good, it's like an analogy for what you've been able to do because you are considered one of the, greatest jazz players in the world right now. And you've also founded your own label, Sounds of Crenshaw, but still able to work and do Loyalty, like with Kendrick Lamar and, tracks with Travis Scott. So you're able to bridge different worlds with your music and with your, your love of Black people in the community. I mean, that's unusual to be able to walk in different worlds like that.
Yeah, but you know what? It's something about L.A. And I think, and I'll say this, I feel like that is in everybody in L.A. I think we just got to tap into it because L.A., our culture is so wide out. Like, our culture is everybody else's culture because everybody comes here and leaves a piece of them with us in Los Angeles.
That's true.
Why,
yeah.
We in my family, we love gumbo, we love tacos, we love all these different kind of foods. We love all these different kind of food. I mean, you got to think, even in the Black community on Saturday mornings, young, we're raised, a lot of us are raised by the Latino community with food and everything. Saturday mornings, I grew up with the lady coming with the corn and the tamales. We couldn't wait for her to come and like we couldn't even speak Spanish. She couldn't speak English, but we had a dialogue of love that was important to me. And I always think about my neighborhood growth. Whenever I travel the world, I just think about my neighborhood growth was so diverse. It's like here we are in the Crenshaw district, 10 minutes away from the beach, 10 minutes away from Beverly Hills, right by the airport, all these different energies that it's like I felt like why pigeonhole yourself to one thing? Just live. Just live. Just live.
Sherelle Dorsey was talking about, she was on right before you, talking about Black creatives and Black genius. And, right now, the show, we've been focusing on jobs and how to feed your family and stay viable in this time. And I feel like your energy and your work is an example of that kind of creative genius, that kind of creative power where you're taking something that hasn't been done and something unexpected and creating an opportunity for yourself, whether it's out of purpose or out of, inspiration. What words would you give to folks right now struggling to reinvent themselves or pivot or find a way forward in this time?
Right now, I would say stay focused and stay healthy. I'm going to break a few things down. Stay healthy is important to me. Eating right in times like these, drinking a lot of water. I say that because keeping that body healthy or keeping tools and that brain clear. Because right now, as a people, if anything, we have to pay attention right now to what's going on around us, to be aware, to know how to survive, to know how to go through these dark times. Stay healthy, stay focused on what's going on, and just connect right now to as many people as you love and that love you as possible. And I think through love and through awareness, a lot of magic happens through those times. I feel like with Black people, we're always, it is a pandemic going on. And as you see brothers and sisters, the police is like, me personally, I feel like we're being hunted right now. Like in the woods or some stuff. So times like these, like even through times like these when, man, this makes me so furious because I have children. When a child or anybody could get killed by the police and everything be fine. A couple of T-shirts are made, and the police go about their day. At a time like this, when that is happening on camera phone with evidence, people are dying from sicknesses, and money is an issue. People are getting evicted. America has done a horrible job at this thing, and now they're evicting people after they can't even work. At times like these, you have to stay aware and stay close to loved ones. You have to stay aware because it's dark. But through all this time, all this, you know, me and Robert call this the gray area of life, where you don't know who to hug. You don't know what door to open, what door to close, nothing. Times like this, the more time you spend with yourself and really getting it together, that's when the magic happens. Like, all the magic happens through adversity. For black people, I realized that. You know, through slavery, we came with music. We came with gifts. Even, man, they tried to knock us down to our very last compound back in the day, and we still came with all these great things and influenced the world. So I say this right now, just hold on. And we've been through some crazier times than this, believe it or not. But, you know, and be steady. I tell you, if people got Amazon Prime, check out documentaries like the African American, the civilization of Africa. Like, when you study these documentaries, I just got turned out to these. I'm not going to lie. I was in Inglewood last week with Kamasi, and I was talking all this stuff. And he said, before you talking all that self-hate stuff, I want to give you some game. Look at these documentaries. And I just learned about the root of certain things. So I think finding out things and knowing things, knowing the history will help us. Knowing the history will help us guide the future, is what I believe in. So right now, while we do have the time to study and things like that, it's all about just getting equipped for the next round of life. Just get equipped. You know, get equipped. Train your babies up. Tell your babies you love them. Tell them they're geniuses. Tell them they can do anything. And it's just about being connected with your family, because right now, all that matters is your village and your family. That's all we got. We don't got nothing else. We see, I don't care about the richest black man in the world. He's still black, and if he drive to McDonald's, he can still get killed by the police. It don't matter. So right now, we all just got to connect to our loved ones and stay aware and just stay learning and study history. Because if you study history, we're going to know what to do. Like, if my kids were in there, they'd be like, Dad is on his militant thing, but it's true.
Yeah, well, those are great words, and they're well said. I don't suppose there's any chance I could get you to pick up that saxophone, is there?
Do I have it? Oh, yeah, hold on.
9:55 in the morning. The Great Guy Black is next. It's Radio Free 102.3 KJLH. And our guest has been Terrace Martin. Don't forget, you can join us on Monday morning right here at 4:30. All right. Give
me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute.
Oh,
1 minute.
Okay.
I got you.
And by the way, family, Radio Free KJLH, you can find the podcasts of these Saturday shows and other shows. You can find us there, and you can listen any time of day.
All right, cool.
Here we go. This is exciting.
I had to wait to read.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay.
Just a little something to uplift your soul on this Saturday.
Yep, that's all I got. I got to wait to read.
That's great. We got to go. Thank you so much, Terrace Martin. Until next time.
It was an honor. I want to tell you, though, it was an honor to talk to you. I've been a fan of yours for years. I know your interviews, all your interviews. Like, it was an honor. I would like to do this again. And
definitely.
I appreciate you for being a voice and being ears and giving us game for all these years. And sister, we love you. We love you. We love you.
Thank you so much. Until next time, Radio Free family, one love.